All right, can everybody hear me pretty good? Can you give me a thumbs up? All right, good. Well, we had a handful of you guys that were live at 8 o'clock. So at 8:01, I started fiddling with my technology. So I'm going to go ahead and do our own time drawing. And Bianca, yay! So Bianca is one of my hosts this week. She is super host that has hosted lots of parties over the years. So that is really exciting. So I'm going to be sharing this video in her party a little bit later along with the other ones, and then even on my business page. But thank you guys so much. Pretty sure I know everybody that's on here, but for those that are watching a little bit later, my name is Jamie Swanson, and I've been with Pampered Chef for 18 and a half years. And this has been the biggest blessing to my family, for me to be able to stay at home with my littles and contribute to my family's income. And when things were a little bit chaotic, or, you know, when we were doing cooking shows, I could get away from my family, and that was pretty fun too. So I love that the virtual arena has allowed me to just reach farther and wider. So that's pretty amazing. So I just want to say how thankful I am for each and every one of you. And I'm thank you for being a part of some part of my business, whether you're on my team or a host, a customer, you know, all the things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So what I'm doing tonight is the first thing we're going to start with is one of our family's favorite dessert recipes that I just learned last year from my good friend Stacy, and everywhere I took it, it was such just a fantastic hit. So I'm gonna show you exactly what's going on over here. So this is our absolutely gorgeous, brand new enameled cast iron Dutch oven. So this is a 6-quart capacity, and I've got 2 sticks of butter. So you can imagine how healthy this recipe is going to be. So I can't necessarily say that I'm going to enjoy it myself, but it is so good, and others will. So I'm going to get that melting down, and then what I did ahead of time, just so you didn't have to watch, was I took 2 packages of graham crackers. So you can do the honey, the cinnamon, whatever. Now this is not the hide the turkey part. I just want you to know I'm not putting turkey on any of this dessert. So just don't be alarmed. But 2 packages from a box of the graham crackers I put on my sheet pan. Now, what I did prior to this was I lined it with some parchment paper. You guys, like, you can spray the pan, but I find the parchment paper is so easy to clean up. So that's a little hack and a little tip for you today. But I ended up having 2 extras, and then there was a little bit of space along the edge. So I broke those into little pieces. So there's no wasted space on this dessert. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to chop some pecans. Now, I always love to hear how people say this. Now, I am from southeastern North Carolina, and to me, this is a pecan. Now, for some of the recipes I do, depending on what I'm making, I call it like a pepper pecan brie. But I put pecans in it. So love to hear if you are a pecan person, A, or a pecan person, B. So put that in the chat just so we'll kind of know like where you stand on that. All right, so it calls for 2 cups of pecans. And so I've got some that are just kind of a little bit more coarse, and then I had to get some more, and these are halves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop the ones that are halves a little bit finer. So this is actually the product that got me sold on Pampered Chef. Like, I had been to a couple of parties and I still didn't have the food chopper. It was in the kit, so it just made sense at the time. So love, love, love the food chopper. So if I were just doing a small amount of nuts, which is what I'm going to do today, I can chop right in the cap. But if I were doing a large amount of chicken or something, I'd probably want to chop it on the cutting board. So, all right, so that is melting beautifully. So I will put those in there and then just chop. Now, I jokingly say that the food chopper is a mood detector. So if my husband can't tell what we're eating tonight, he probably knows that I'm a little bit frustrated and he might want to grab the vacuum cleaner or something. So, all right, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, you can use half brown sugar, half white sugar. I didn't want the mess of like the stuff getting everywhere. So I just did 1 cup of brown sugar, but you just need a cup of sugar. You can divide it up how you want. Now I use the stevia brown sugar for a lot of things. So I may make a small batch of just pecans with the brown sugar on it. All right, so I'm just gonna bring that butter and brown sugar to a boil and see what kind of yumminess goes on there. So once that melts completely, I'm gonna add it's just under 2 cups of pecans to that. And it really needs to come to a boil. So probably about 5 minutes, it needs to do that for it to really caramelize. And then I'm just gonna pour it over these graham crackers, and at 325, it's gonna go in the oven for about 8 minutes. Then it comes out, cools completely, and then you just break it into pieces. So Bianca, Stacy Brown, Mom Stacy Brown, not teacher Stacy Brown, is who turned me on to this amazing recipe. Now there are some of the nuts that are still a little bit chunky, which makes it really, really tasty and good. So I'm gonna just let that simmer for 5 minutes, and then we'll jump into assembling the rest of that. All right, so this is actually a new recipe that I'm trying. So I'm gonna demo 2 additional recipes that are gonna repurpose some of your potential leftovers for this week. And then I'm gonna tell you about some other things. And then I'd love to hear some of the things that you do outside of a turkey sandwich, the day after. All right, how many of you live in Wilmington? Raise your hand if you're in the Wilmington area. So Brenda's Wilmington-ish. She's a little bit farther out. So if we have a local restaurant that has a dish is very, very sought after turkey changa. And what that means is basically a turkey, turkey in a burrito. So it has stuffing and mashed potatoes and turkey, and then it has this wonderful gravy with jalapenos, and then you have a cranberry chutney that goes over it. So it's fantastic, and it's in high demand. So I've decided that tonight's the night that I'm going to recreate I'm going to call it the Jamie Changa, because I don't want to get any copyright issues or whatever. So I've cooked this week, very strategic around what I needed to prepare for tonight's recipe. So I actually used the quick cooker earlier. Let me lay my mayo down. The quick cooker to cook some chicken breast, because we didn't have turkey breast or turkey leftover yet. So I just threw, I think it was 4 or 5 chicken breast. So had some for dinner. I'm going to make chicken salad with some of the leftovers. And then I took a couple of them for the dishes that we're making tonight, because that was a pretty good substitute. So I did about a half of a chicken breast, and then I'm going to just chop it using the salad choppers. Oh my gosh, love the salad choppers. Absolute favorite. All right, so that's a nice little shredded amount of chicken, AKA turkey. And then I am going to take this little batch of, these are actually homemade mashed potatoes. So since I've been doing the lower carb route, my family has kind of been neglected of the simple things in life like mashed potatoes, and they were all very excited last night. So just going to slather that on. And then the next step, of course, is going to be our stuffing. So it's just a box of stovetop. My family enjoyed that tonight for dinner. And so we're gonna just plop a couple of scoops of that there. Now, for those of you that have had a turkey changa, tell me if you are a fan or not. So I'd love to hear your opinion on that. All right, I can't really read now that I'm over 40. I certainly can't read what's going on over there, but I'll look at it a little bit later. So there we go. So we've got, this was an 8-inch, I think an 8-inch flour tortilla. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck, can you guys see that? I'm going to tuck those sides in, and then I'm just going to roll it, or I'm going to attempt to roll it. And just kind of tuck it in. All right. So now that I've got that done, so now we've got a burrito, like a Thanksgiving in a burrito. I'm just going to quickly spritz it using our kitchen spritzer. And this, I think, actually has avocado oil in it. That's one of the oils I love to use. But I have a couple of these around the house with, just different ones. So I'm just getting a nice little spritz. This is a great way to add some oils to your dishes without over oiling it, and make sure every time you use it, you burp the baby. Okay, really important to burp the baby. Now, I could have put some cheese in there. I could have added a little gravy if I had it, really up to you. But what I'm going to do now, you've got some options. So you could pop it on a little, just a baking dish and pop it in the oven. I could put it on the grill pan with the press and do it kind of like a panini, but you guys know where this thing is going. It's going in that air fryer, okay? So we're gonna take out this fabulous air fryer. I've actually already got the rack up for that, and I'm just gonna delicately move that right over. So I'm not even sure how long, so let's just say probably about 5 minutes to start with, and we'll see if it's good to go. We'll do that. And if you don't have the air fryer yet, we need to talk because you are going to love it. I know, stir that around. I know that Brenda got it recently. She joined one of my shared rewards party and took advantage of that. And Constance had a party recently, so she was good to go in that department. All right, so let me move this over. All right, so now I'm just gonna make sure that those graham crackers, we're heading back to our dessert. I'm gonna make sure that those graham crackers are all squished together. Oh boy, that smells so good. And I need to grab my little grippers. All right, now I need your help. Instead of climbing around, come help me. All right, so you employ your, so grab that scraper, but it's super hot on the pan, and just kind of scoot it all over the place. So this is Noah, this is my oldest. So if you don't know my family very well, you don't see him in nearly as many videos because this is not really his thing. So I appreciate you helping me. Yeah. Miss Bason's in here. All right, so we'll start with that and just lay that down there. Ready? All right, and then what I'll do is just kind of scoot that around. So again, that was 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of I did brown sugar, and then 2 cups of pecans, whatever you want to call it. I think I could have used a little more butter because it's not spreading quite as much as I need it to. Maybe I caramelized it too much. But remember, I'm pampered, not perfect, so it's okay. And then again, that's just going to go in the oven for about 8 minutes. And that middle piece is going to be really tasty because it's super buttery and good. All right, and voila! So pretty close. I think my family, the birds, will enjoy that. And 8 minutes and good. So 3 more minutes on that. So that should give me a little bit of time to get the rest of this mixture done. So there were about 2, maybe 2 chicken breasts that I did in there. I'll add the rest of that. So this recipe is going to be the turkey and cranberry wreath or ring. You can do it however you want. I'm going to do just a small version and then have leftovers to fill at another time. So I've got the chicken in there again, and then of course I'm going to use those salad choppers once again. But guess what? I'm going to be smart and effective and go ahead and put that celery in there as well. Now, I would not be doing a paper chuck party if I didn't show you the quick select. So I'm going to quickly show you this. One of my absolute favorite prep tools. So awesome. You've got these blades that are at an angle and they're serrated. So I just kind of give it a rock back and forth. And then you've got those nice little cube pieces. Now I'm going to want it a little bit smaller. So we're still going to chop it over here. But everybody has to see one of my most favorite and most used. All right. Has anybody had this turkey and cranberry wreath before, or ring? Anybody? It is so good, and just a really fun and easy way to repurpose. And then of course, if you are if you don't have turkey or just prefer it with chicken, that's fine too. All right. So that did a pretty good job of chopping up. All right, so here's the next debate. We went from pecans to pecans, and now we're going to talk Dukes versus Hellmann's. So love to hear in the chat which one is your family's favorite. As you can tell, we don't discriminate. We just love mayonnaise. So I'm going to do a little bit of both. So it's a half of a cup of mayonnaise. So we'll do half Dukes and half Hellmann's in the event that we've got a crowd divided. Can't see. All right, so Dukes, if you can find it. I know a lot of folks can't find Dukes. My mom always had Hellmann's. My dad's mom, who lived right across the street, always had Dukes. So kind of neat to do that. All right, so we've got the half a cup of mayo right there. Let's rinse my potatoes off of this one. All right, so there's the half a cup of mayo, and then we are going to add some Dijon mustard. Now, this is not something I keep on hand, but when I do have it, I find tons of different uses for it. So this is going to be 2 tablespoons. Now, this is a handy dandy little measural cup. So this is the, oh goodness, this is the mini measural cup, petite measural cup. I never remember. There's 3 different sizes: 1 cup, 2 cup, and a 1/4 cup. But this is awesome, especially for things that are sticky, like honey or this kind of mustard, different things like that. You just fill it up, we give it a squirt, and voila, we have a nice clean measurement. Haven't added that to your family, make sure you add that to your family. All right, the next thing we're going to add is a half a cup of craisins, so just dried cranberries. So it's beginning to have some pretty color and some nice textures and stuff. And then this is just a half a bar, like 4 ounces of Swiss cheese. So the Swiss gives it a really, really tasty, Swiss just has that very distinct flavor. I think I've got way too much chicken, so we're about to dump a whole bunch of mayonnaise in here, because you guys know I'm not a baker, right? I don't measure anything, so sometimes that can cause a little bit of a mess. All right, so we've got our mayonnaise, Dijon. We're going to add some salt and pepper, celery, parsley. It wasn't worth it for me to buy fresh parsley that I wasn't going to eat. I could use some dried parsley, but I think we'll be okay without that. And then the final thing that we're going to add is just more pecans, pecans, whatever, tomato. Now here's another way a lot of people use it, is they will take the bottom off and then stick it right on there. And then we're going to chop. And then this is kind of neat, especially if you were doing like a dessert and just needed to sprinkle, you could do just like that. So that might be a fun new step for some of you. All right, and then we're going to do another keep and helping the family. All right. So since we've already eaten dinner and there's no need to have a huge amount, I'm not going to do the traditional, wreath, which would be round, like on a stone. Sometimes you can do a braid. So I'm just going to use 1 container of crescent rolls, just so you'll get the idea. So you will just see just how simple this is. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is add a little salt and pepper. Our grinders are gorgeous and so functional. I actually have 3 sets of these. One that goes to cooking shows with me, back when we did those. I kind of miss them. That's why I'm doing so many Zoom parties now, because I love interacting with my people. And then I've got one over by my table and then one over by the stove. So just incredible. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use another piece of this gorgeous enameled cast iron. So a lot of times I would use just for the single braid, just with one can of crescent rolls. I would use like the medium bar pan. If I'm going to use 2, I'd use the large bar pan. But this is going to be just present so pretty. And this is one of the new pieces for the season. So really, really love that. So you can open a can of crescent rolls. You can definitely do pampered chef, lady or man. All right, so real easy here, you guys. So I'm going to take these out. These are ideally best used when you just take them out of the refrigerator like the minute before you need it. Mine are a little bit soft just because I was setting things up previously. But I'll give you a tour of what's going on here. So you see I went to the middle and I've got just 4 on one side. And then I am going to do the other 4 on the other side. What's really nice with this mixture is, we can use it multiple times. So if you love the whole ring concept, this is a great recipe, or any of the rings, you can make the filling the night before. So I love to do that while my kitchen is just a total mess from tonight's dinner. I'll go ahead and prep like fillings for the next night's dinner, so I don't have to do like from scratch. So all I'd have to do like after basketball practice or wherever we're coming in is pull this out, get these ready, and then fill it using the mixture. All right, so I'm going to take just a heaping scoop. Oh, did you guys see how that turned out? So it's just like you just meet it on the edges. All right, so and since I am trying to be a little more aware of my carb intake, guess what? I've basically made myself a delicious little chicken salad. So I could eat it cold, or, like room temperature or cold, or I could put it in a little baking dish and make it hot and eat it like that. So lots of great options there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those points and just cross over. So simple, you guys. Now, I kind of joke and say sometimes Jonathan likes for me to get fancy, so I'll curl those things around. So you got a nice little fancy there on the end. Maybe we'll fancy it on this end too, just to give it a little texture and prettiness. All right, so let's check on. Ooh-wee, those look good. All right, so I'll let this harden for probably about 45 minutes and let it completely cool, and then I'll break it apart. So I will share all of these recipes that I did tonight, as well as some others that I didn't get to feature. So I'll actually just stick this in the oven. So the oven time is 25 to 30 minutes. Now, if you want for it to be shiny and pretty, you would do an egg wash. So just whip an egg and then brush it over there, and that gives it a really, really pretty shine. You could actually add some extra pecans on the top. Maybe if you had the fresh parsley, you could garnish it with that, but we're real basic around here. So I am going to go ahead and stick it in the oven because I'm sure Mr. Jonathan would love that. 375 for, I'm going to do about 20 minutes. It's just a smaller portion. All right, so let's talk about, I'm going to give you a couple of other ideas of things that you can do with some of your leftovers, some of the basic leftovers that we end up having. And then I'll make sure that in my business page, I share those recipes so you can prepare to not have a sandwich with either Dukes or Hellmann's, whichever your favorite is, through like Sunday of next week. So another one that I really, really love is actually called the Autumn Risotto with chicken and cranberries. So it actually, you use like cooked chicken, but you could definitely trade that out with the cranberries. So you do that in our rock crock. I feel like, my family is more of a rice family than a mashed potato family. But if you had the rice instead of the mashed potatoes, you could probably like skip a couple of steps in that process and make that with the leftover rice, the turkey for that. So I'll make sure I share that. Another one is the easy no stir risotto. So there's a couple of different versions, like the caprese, which has the tomatoes and basil and garlic, super, super good. And then you have chicken that is incorporated into that. There's one with sun-dried tomatoes. So there's a couple of different great options with that. And that's also done in the rock crock. Absolutely love that. One of my favorites is doing paninis. So you could, if you had like a French loaf, and you just would, cut little small slices of bread. So you would do sliced turkey, you do a slice of brie, and then a green apple, and then you could bake little paninis. So that's a whole lot better than Wonder Bread and mayonnaise, in my opinion. If you're going to have a sandwich, go ahead and spruce it up a little bit. Another one that I actually did a couple of years ago when it was an in-person had the turkey was a turkey panini with onion and cranberry marmalade. I think that's what it was. But that's where you do same thing. You've got like a nicer, thicker bread, Havarti cheese, and a slice of apple, and you're basically making a panini with that. So that was incredible. All right, let's talk about mashed potatoes. Now, let me hear, let's debate rice versus mashed potatoes. Where are you at? Do it in the chat. I grew up, we always did rice. Jonathan's a big mashed potato fan. We hosted Thanksgiving last year, so we had both. I was like, when you have 50 people here, there's probably going to be people that will have that. So we've got, let's see. Okay, so mashed potatoes, it looks like, Janae. All right, so if you've got leftover mashed potatoes, there's a couple things you can do with it. So not necessarily like a stuffed twice baked potato, but y'all throw some ham or some bacon and cheese and chives, or green onion in there, and basically put it in a casserole dish, and then you can have like a twice baked potato. How about shepherd's pie? Because by Saturday we're going to be ready for some beef. Or you could take that leftover turkey and still add like a can of vegetables or some frozen vegetables to that, and then cover it with some mashed potatoes and some cheese. So I think that's a great way to repurpose some of those mashed potatoes. All right, and this was going to be fun. I'm really excited to share this. So that leftover stuffing, I mean, like that's kind of like leftover wine. Is there really a thing? Is there ever leftover stuffing? So one of the things that I'm going to do this year, if we have any leftover, is brown some just Jimmy Dean sausage and mix it in with the stuffing. And then guess what? One of my favorite snackies is stuffed mushrooms. So what I would do is take the small scoop, mix my sausage, and this is a cornbread stuffing, so I think that would be delightful. And then just get a big old heaping scoop, and then throw them in your air fryer. I think the last time I made them, it was probably 6 or 8 minutes. That the mushrooms were nice and just nice and tender, and it was heated through. You could add some cheese, you could do whatever you want, but no stuffing left undone. And then let me go. I meant to have this out. There's one more thing. All right, so here is another great use for your leftover stuffing is your brownie pan. So if you've got a ton, you could put little cupcake liners or just spray it a little bit. Maybe add a little something in there just to if you want to add a little bit of gravy or something, just to make it, just a little more, I don't know, just to make it stick a little bit more, and then bake it for a few minutes, let it cool. And then you could stick them in freezer bags. So guess what? When you want a little serving of stuffing, you've got it. Because again, after a couple of days, you've just had enough. So no leftover food there. All right, so let me see what kind of things are in the. Okay, so mashed potato soup. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. You could definitely do soup. So I would, with that, I would just add a little bit of milk and cheese and whatever toppings that you like. We've got a great loaded potato, so that is good. All right, so Kim is called the mini. Thank you, Kim. I can never remember if it's the petite or the mini, but I call it the shot measurable cup. So, all right. All right. Oh, so Blue Plate must be another mayonnaise brand. I love that. Love that. Love that. All right. So what I'd love to do is for everybody to open the lines and feel free to come in with any questions that you have, or even some of the ways that you have repurposed some of the food. There's some of the leftovers that you have, or maybe like what was your favorite that I shared with you today. Don't leave me alone, friends. Ooh. I need to grab let's check on my Jamie Chanda. Oh, look at those crispy ends. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my goodness. And it's got a nice little shell to it. So whew, our Jamie Chanka is going to be delightful. So I'll cut that open and share with you shortly.
Hey, Jamie, can you hear me?
I sure can. Hey, Rain.
Hey. So leftover ideas, what my husband always does is he takes the whatever dinner rolls we have left over, and he puts macaroni and cheese in those, and then he'll, just make a little macaroni and cheese sandwich out of that. It's so simple, but it's good.
So. That is so fun. For my bachelorette party, we went down to Atlanta and we ate at a place that had deep fried macaroni and cheese. So I bet I could whip something like that up in the air fryer. So
yes.
What a fun idea. Good. And I was at Food Lion the other day, and they had the King's Hawaiian. They were cheaper than the Food Lion brand, so I grabbed a pack, and my family's been real excited about that.
Oh yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for sharing. All right, who else?
I guess we all came here to get your ideas.
I know, that's okay. That's okay. I'm full of all kinds of crazy ideas and excitement. This year was the first time I tried the Jamie Changa.
So, I like this. A question. I got here late. What did you make in the chicken salad or turkey salad?
Okay.
I got here when you were putting the crescent rolls in, so I don't know what you put in the bowl.
That's good. So that was the turkey cranberry wreath, and I will share all the recipes. So that was, and I did chicken instead of turkey. So it was chicken, mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, the 2 cups of chicken, which I think I had probably closer to 4, so that's why I had to add extra. Some celery. It was supposed to have parsley. I skipped that. Dried cranberries, Swiss cheese, and then it called for walnuts, but I did pecans because I just don't keep walnuts. And y'all, pecans are hard to find, so if you need some, you better start store hopping between now and Thursday.
Sam's had a whole bunch of them, and they're actually $2 cheaper this year than they were last year.
Well,
they're not whole pecans, but they're halved. But it's 2 pounds for $12. So that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's great. And I just keep them. I keep them in the pantry or keep them in the freezer, and that's a great little snack. I love to just snack on pecans. So good. Let's see. Good turkey panini with stuffing and cranberry sauce. That sounds fantastic. A couple of years ago, I took some leftover cranberry sauce and we made it was like a cranberry martini of some sort. I'm like, listen, I was just looking for some fun reason to incorporate alcohol. So that was pretty fun to do too. So, all right. Any other questions? I'm so glad you guys joined me. So this is really one of the new ways that I'm doing my parties. So I still love doing my online parties. I'm trying something new this week with Bianca and 2 other hosts, which is kind of exciting. And I invited them all to the Zoom party. And then those that weren't able to join, I'm just going to be sticking the link in their party so they can check it out, because I covered a great amount of information and products. And I'm always looking to add some more. So I'm trying to do about 2 Zoom parties a week. So if anybody's interested in hosting one of these fun things, we can totally create a theme, or just, sometimes I'm just like whipping up like snacks for my family for the next day. So definitely let me know if this is the style of party you'd like to host. All right. Who wants to know what's going on for Black Friday? Anybody excited about that? All right. So this is really cool. First time in Pampered Chef history that I'm aware of. On Friday, orders of $99 or more will get free shipping, and it can be incorporated into a party. We've never done that. It's always been just online orders, which is really, really cool. And then we're going to have 20% off of our subscriptions, which are our Enrichables and Taste Buds. So that's really neat. So Brenda, if you want to re-up, you should go ahead and re-up on Friday, because that's a great time to do that. And then our very loved quick cooker, which is our version of an Instant Pot, I think it's, oh gosh, Kim, tell me, is it a $50 savings on Friday? I think that's what it is. So it's going to be $199. So that's super, super exciting. If you still haven't jumped into the quick cooker / Pampered Chef Instant Pot world right now is a great time to do that. So I've still got 6 quart capacity. My chicken is still hot from hours ago. And then I've got, I put just water, and then I put a couple of, you can't see it, but a couple of bouillon cubes in there. So now I've got some great stock that I could make. I could make, lots of different things over the next couple of days. So really excited about that. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, Bianca, it's going to be good. Your guest will find out about that tomorrow. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. If you have any other questions, let me know. And yeah, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. And I'm super, super thankful for each and every one of you. All right. We'll see you soon.